Dear students, it's my great privilege to be invited. I'm indeed very sensible of this honor of being with you to celebrate the silver jubilee of this great institution. The Learning Center and this amphitheater are expressions of the finest sentiments to celebrate the incoming age of knowledge revolution. Dear children, I want to tell you something. It is said it is dangerous to live in interesting times. Times are most interesting. And in 1945, when the nuclear explosion occurred, a great scientist said, everything changed and humanity needs new ways of thinking if it is to survive. Everything changed again in 1953 when two scientists, Watson and Crick, broke into the then secretly guarded the genome secret of life. Ever since, developments in science have been mind-boggling. The barriers between branches of science have disappeared. Long time ago, a philosopher in Ionia in Greece, he said, if you study subjects as watertight compartments, insularly, like mathematics, physics, psychology, philosophy, you build knowledge, but you won't build ability. If it is only when these branches of knowledge converge, then you are able to develop ability. Science is knowledge. Technology is ability. This is the age of technology. And you are living through perhaps the most interesting and exciting phase of human civilization. The next 10 years are going to be the most incisive period of science and humanities. By 2020, the world will not be the same as you see it today. Human society will change. I'm happy to be here on this occasion for two reasons. To celebrate the great excitement of science and engineering. To build institutions of this kind is not easy. The second and equally important thing is to celebrate my friendship with my old esteemed friend, Dr. Thimmaiah. He was our hero in college days. I'm speaking of 68 years ago. He was a very good-hearted person. He was a student of geology, took his honors degree. He took a PhD from London University. Academic achievements apart, he was a great sportsman, he was a great cricketer. He has played cricket all through his life. Playing cricket is symbolic of being right, being just, and being friendly. Dr. Thimmaiah, I'm meeting him, perhaps occasionally I would meet him here and there for a few minutes. It is 68 years after our friendship in the college days. And he was the favorite of everyone. Everyone was in love with him. And his cricket was the most exciting. You don't have the time for me to explain to you the excitement and the great joy he gave us as a cricketer. Apart from that, as an administrator, as a scientist, as a planner, as a visionary, Dr. Thimmaiah has been a remarkable person. He is a remarkable life in our times. The proximity of people often tends to mask their goodness, their virtues. At heart, Dr. Thimmaiah is still the heart of a child. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to celebrate my old friendship with him, renew it after 68 years. And this occasion symbolizes a beautiful sentiment and a beautiful spirit, a spirit of friendship, which I enjoy here with him. At the same time, I am sharing and celebrating the excitement of the oncoming days of scientific excellence. There's an article in the American Time some time ago, I think last year. It said, the lead article said in the front page, 2045, the year 2045, when man attains immortality. He said, if you live up to 2045, you have the prospect of living for 400 years. All of you have the good fortune to see 2045 and enjoy the promise of science that it gives you a 400-year lifespan at the minimum. Dr. Raymond Kurzweil, whom we have heard as a software man who made his billions before he was 40, he went to teach in Harvard. He wrote a book, Isaac Asimov's old title, The Fantastic Voyage. In that book, he says, people asked him, with the state of knowledge of human physiology which we have today, can you arrest aging? He said, yes. With the present state of our knowledge of human physiology, you can arrest aging. You can add 1 year to your lifespan every year. People asked him, how do you do it? He said, he gave 4 simple principles. He said, change your cooking oil into fish oil or olive oil. Change your white sugar into stevia sugar, a sugar made out of stevin plant, which is sold as sugar in the market. Then drink 9 cups of green tea and maintain your physiological alkalinity of the blood. You will add 1 year to your lifespan every year. This kind of, it requires a little arithmetic to calculate what kind of planet this will be with everybody living for 400 years. This is the excitement of the next age of science. Science is going to be mind-boggling. You will have, perhaps you don't even visualize that the borders between chemistry, physics, mathematics, logic, philosophy, psychology will all not only be blurred, but there will be no boundaries at all. You just see, in the last 10 years, 2 Nobel Prizes for physics. 2 Nobel Prizes for physics went to 2 doctors. 2 doctors were given Nobel Prize for physics. This is the kind of change that we are going to see. Healthcare, education, biotechnology, energy are going to be the remarkable areas of development, immense amount of development. Education, we have 560 million children below 14 years in this country. In 1800, the world had just 1 billion population. The 2nd billion was added. It took 132 years to add the 2nd billion. The 6th billion was added in 11 years. We have 6.7 billion people in this country, in this world, and these are issues that are going to inform every field of human activity. For example, you have 49 rich countries who have a basic income, per capita income of $20,000. Out of the 49 countries, 19 countries have populations between 1 to 10 million. Finland has just 5 million population. You drive through anywhere in Finland, you don't see people at all in the streets. The vast land has no population at all. And this kind of India has 1.3 billion people. We have our problems of education, healthcare, agriculture. We produce 250 million tons of food. But the tragedy is 60 million tons of food are destroyed, are yielded to bad storing, rodents, birds, pests, and 60 million tons of food are sufficient to feed 300 million people. We have to have the post-harvest technologies. It is the scientists who must now build up these things for saving this country. And there are many, many things. And this place, KGF, is, I think, will become ultimately Dr. Thimmaiah University with hundreds of institutions. And institutions of a different kind. Institutions that tell you how to live, not only how to earn and prosper. One thing you must understand, young children, after having passed through the wilderness of life's experience, at the age of 85, I'm trying to tell you something, that life is too short for animosities and petty things that you think of. Forget petty things. When interpersonal relationships become difficult, when your relationship with a friend becomes strained, don't cut the relationship. You cut your ego. Everything will be all right. And a healthy style of living, 4 days in a week you must participate in a vigorous sport. And 5 days in a week you must spend 20 minutes in search of yourself inside through meditation. Please find time for this. Restructure your time. Knowledge is not to be pursued, it's to be discovered inside. And intuition is perhaps the most powerful instrument. Einstein said, what is the departure, they asked him, from your Newtonian physics to Einsteinian physics? Newton said, there is an experiment, observation, and an inference. Einstein said, how can I make an experiment when I deal with heavenly bodies, movement of planets? I can't order their behavior. Then he said, this is not hypothesis bingo. It is not a result that we compare between the beef and the soup. It is between the token and the cloak. It said it is the hypothesis non-fingo. This is the kind of change in the scientific attitude. A great neurologist of Indian origin who works in Berkeley, who writes about mind. He wrote a piece it's a lecture delivered in the BBC. He said, believing is seeing, contrary to the scientific thought that seeing is believing. If you go to the Royal Institute, Royal Society in England, you file in the board, they say, nullius in verba, don't take any man's word for it. Everything has to be proved scientifically. But this scientist says, the human psychology and human spirit and the metaphysics of human personality says that there is something much higher. That is what is in store for you. Science will present you God, while we of our generation have been struggling with petty logic and petty foggeries of our own life, petty injustices. You of your generation have the gift and the capacity to make this world a better world, our society a just and a caring society. This is what the message of Dr. Thimmaiah's life itself symbolizes. He has been a child at heart. He has achieved so many things as a scientist, as an administrator, as a visionary, as a social servant. I have come here to pay my tribute to the great achievement he has done. When Mahatma Gandhi's birthday was celebrated, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya sent him a telegram saying, I wish you 100 years of life. Mahatma Gandhi sent a telegram back immediately. He said, Panditji, by one telegram you have taken away 25 years of my life. I want to live 125 years, he said. I wish Dr. Thimmaiah lives 125 years and makes KG of a beautiful center of learning, a center where the hundreds of institutions grow. See, the modern life requires so many skills. For example, a physics student is needed as a radiation security officer in every hospital. Every hospital that has a nuclear medicine requires a radiation security officer. We may need hundreds of them, if not thousands immediately. And these are the changes in the boundaries of knowledge. And this is where you have infinite opportunity, not to be petty, but to be large-hearted. This is the one lesson all of us must learn from Thimmaiah. Being large-hearted is the essence of achievement. Thank you very much for your courtesy.